now they know it's for the name, the legacy.
I'm going to share something with you that might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from here, and this has been like a therapy session.
This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. I'm joined by promoter Kalle Sauerland. Kalle, yeah, I mean, this is a bit of a
interesting morning.
Interesting morning, but a bit of a situation.
We've had a very interesting morning. But here we are, public workouts, show on Saturday, so full steam ahead. It's obviously some issues to resolve. How we resolve them, the next hours and days will tell. But we'll see a show on Saturday night.
I spoke to Eddie Hearn only about half an hour ago, and he said that all parties found out at the same time with the board's statement that they put out today as well. Yeah, can you just make comment on the board's statement that they put out that they weren't going to allow this fight to go ahead this Saturday?
Right. Look, I mean, at the end, I'll leave that a little bit to the lawyers, but I've got to give you something. So I can't quite work out, in the interests of the clause that they've stated, the interest of boxing. They've got two boxers, both not suspension. There's no suspensions on either. Our side is prepared to go ahead. We know that there was a failed voluntary test with traces of a female fertility drug. We've known that and had that analysed, looked at by two leading experts in that area, both in the UK and abroad. That's the first thing. That's the first thing we did and do before we talk to lawyers and boards and whatever else, is to check, is it a PED? Is it something that can give an advantage in the ring? And that's where we sought the medical advice, and on the basis of that, Julia's turning up for the public workout in a minute. He's on board for Saturday. And from a British board point of view, he hasn't failed a test because they only recognise the UKAD testing authority. Those tests have all been negative. And, from that point of view, they can't suspend him. So he's an active fighter. I mean, is it a question because it's this huge fight and people are nervous about it? I don't know. And right now, I have to look at what is best for my athlete. He wants this fight. He's been given advice in all areas around it, and that's it for me.
When I spoke to Eddie Hearn earlier, he compared it to a situation with Billy Joe Saunders of previous years ago.
That was the one where he was positive on VADA in the States and then boxed under a British board licence.
He was going to fight Demetrius Andrade at the time. If the board don't recognise VADA and go from UKAD, then they've still made the decision today for the fight not to go ahead. Why is that then?
Once again, I can't speak legal terms on it, but they haven't mentioned that in the statement they put out. They've just said it's in the interest of boxing. There might be something completely different we're missing here, but that's the only communication we've had. And as I said, we're in discussions. There's several different solutions to what we have in front of us, and one of them will work.
What's Chris Eubanks said? I know you said that him and Conor Benn, who's actually just turned up here to the media workout. What has been the conversations between Junior and Conor Benn?
It's a private conversation. There was a conversation. Conor did call Junior. What was said, I'm not party to. I've never had it before, a situation like this before. But make of it what you want. They did have a personal conversation on it, and I can't really read into it more than that.
Kalle, would you say that there is a possibility, again, there's another question I did ask Eddie Hearn, whether there was a possibility of using a different board from abroad, etc., with the board statement today? Is that a possibility of going somewhere else?
Absolutely. You know, at the end, we're dealing with two fighters who are not suspended. If they were suspended, you know, and if there was any, you know, doctor's advice on for medical grounds or whatever, it wouldn't be a discussion. The show would be off. If the board won't listen to our case, hear our case, and you know we can't work out something with the board, then you know, then of course we're left with no alternative. You know, no alternative.
Would you say that there was zero chance that this fight would go ahead under the board's jurisdiction this Saturday?
Under the board's jurisdiction, I certainly hope not.
British board?
No, I certainly hope not. I mean, you know, they've employed a legal team. If you do that, then generally you're in a discussion, aren't you? And we're discussing with them. But I have to look at a plan B because, you know, the show's got to go ahead Saturday night. So the plan B's already there if we need it. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say on it. It's just I've got to navigate around what the lawyers tell me. But at the end of the day, we're the promoters. We have to find a solution, don't we?
So as it stands at 3:45 on Wednesday afternoon, are you saying from your side, from Team Eubank's side, you are happy for this fight categorically to go ahead on Saturday?
I can categorically confirm that and say not only are we happy that we'll go ahead, it will go ahead. That's a clear statement.
Okay, well, I'm assuming that I timestamp that because I know this is a change. It could change at any point.
But that's something where, you know, if there was a glaring reason that was presented to us before, we've had all the opportunities to analyse what we've been presented, and that's it. You know, the decision's there.
I'm sure you'll keep us updated, but I appreciate the update so far, and let's see what happens over the next kind of hours and minutes even, because...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'll see you at the press conference tomorrow.
Kalle Sauerland, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV.
Step up. Apparently every fight's been a step up. I do the talk, make the noise, and give them the theatre, but then I put it on mute. I have always been seen in the wake, but it's time they've woken up. Now they know it's for the name, the legacy.
I'm going to share something with you that might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.